action with Warm versus War Machine versus Jesus Christ, puns and stuns. First ban out of them is Bologna. Typical ban. Do not want to see Bologna on the field. Every game she's been in thus far in the league has been her just directing the game. Wouldn't you agree, Trent?
Absolutely. Bologna's still definitely the top pick for solo lane. Just so good right now. Even with this nerf coming through on Death Toll, I think she's still going to be too impactful.
And
And
there's the
Osiris, man,
Osiris ban.
curious to see this coming out.
Mhm.
I definitely felt like there was more impactful characters coming out. We talked about it earlier. I thought Sasanu and Hades definitely more impactful than the Osiris pickup here. But
Mhm.
to each his own. We'll see what happens
Uh,
with the solo lane.
Definitely. Susano better be banned in the second game, or we're gonna see a repeat, especially with she, Warm. No, yeah, Warm just having the first pick here. They're probably first pick Susano, or either let the other team decide whether they want Susano or not. And if Susano is not pick up, it will put them. Give them a stigma of not being able to play Susano and letting teams just drop the Susano and letting them go on to choose other things to ban.
Yeah, I'm
And there's
wondering
the
here if
Susano
the
ban.
solo laner. I'm wondering if Garcia is looking just to carry his team. I would bet that's what he's trying to do. Uh,
Garcia definitely did
that's
the
what.
best in his lane phase.
Yes, I believe that's why they banned the Osiris, just to ensure that him on his Sun Wukong can basically win lane.
Yes, definitely a interesting pick. An all or nothing strategy on one lane.
All right, we see the pickup here from Bobby on the Medusa. Not really a surprising pick here.
Medusa with that ult
First
and the
pick, I
damage.
don't necessarily recommend first picking a Medusa, but if you're comfortable with it, that's what you go for.
Uh huh.
It's always interesting who people choose to first pick for a god. With so many options open, you don't also want to be counterpicked. So it's like, who do you go with here? So I typically like a carry pickup early.
And there's a Humbats pickup by Trap Mom.
Perhaps it was a targeted ban last game. We'll find out this game how comfortable he looks on him.
For all we know puns and stuns could be a very not have a very large god pool, and just the few bans that Warm managed to do, threw them off their game. Cahill
An
into
Uller
Oler.
pickup.
Oler, just
All
such a
right.
high skill cap god, with his wombo combo being devastating if landed.
An Uller into Medusa pickup is kind of a rough pickup. I don't recommend it very often. It kind of you have to outskill the Medusa at that point, and it comes down to the god. The Medusa wins that god aggression. It's gonna really be on Cahill to outplay her, and unfortunately, last game it didn't look like he was able to do so. But we'll see what happens this game.
Just like 24
Just Fly
picking up the
picking up the
Wheelix,
Helix.
and there's the
Yeah, Just Fly
Chang'e.
was the carry last game, so we'll see. He's probably going to end up on the Medusa. Both Chang'e and a Wheelix banned out last game, so picked up this game probably just to be an annoyance at this point. They felt pretty
Along
confident in their win last game.
along with the Sylvanas pickup here. Sylvanas being banned last game. That seems like a lot of these bans were targeted.
A good possibility, yes. I'm curious to see what happens with this Susanoo Uller. Part of the struggle from Uller is he's very mana hungry. Sylvanas able to give that MP5 with those flowers could possibly keep him in lane long enough to really box against this Medusa.
In the team
Ganesh's
fight,
still on the board.
Sylvanas will be vital. I feel he will allow the team, even if they're a little under level, to keep fighting past when they should be able to fight. The sustain, making them a siege type of, just a siege type of team. Siege being very popular right now in the in Smite.
There's the Hades ban. Surprisingly, it came out from the side of Puns and Stuns, even though, or I'm sorry, on War Machine, even though they used it so effectively against Puns and Stuns last game. Probably
Wouldn't
just not looking to deal with it.
wouldn't puns and stuns get the first pick now after that? After this, possibly not wanting to leave that on the table. And there's the Hercules not wanting to have that sustain or that high damage character. Also, they just probably don't want to see the awesome skin and be jelly of it, because I would be jelly if I didn't have
Uh,
it.
I'm thinking they're still just trying to win solo lane and allow their solo laner Garcia to carry them.
Mhm.
He farmed very effectively despite really honestly getting bullied out of lane. So let's see what happens here with it.
Uh,
The
if
Chang'e ban is going to be big in team fights here though.
if solo lane can get fed, a solo lane, a strong solo laner that is fed can lead to just the downfall of the whole enemy team because they can be everywhere and then come back to lane, beat on their lane, still win lane, and then just, make the difference. It's amazing what one lane can do. However, I still abide by the fact that a fed dual lane is better than a fed solo lane just because you're feeding two people.
We'll see what happens here on the pickup for the support side of War Machine. Ganesh still open. I'm wondering if no one feels comfortable enough on him right now to play him.
Mm-hmm. That is a good question to ask here. Are they confident enough in them to pick him up and use him? He's such a good god right now, and until they nerf him, I'm not even sure if they ever will nerf him. But his wave clear, along with any hunter with decent wave clear, will just go through the roof, making them the bully in lane until he starts rotating out of lane.
So many great options still for the support pickup for the side of War Machine. Looks like they've focused really hard on banning out the solo laner, but they're not even considering the fact that off-meta picks or non-warrior picks can go into the solo and have a great chance against, well, there's the Amaterasu pickup. So it looks like Garcia's not going with the Sun Wukong pickup this game. Oh, Sun Wukong was banned out. So,
yeah,
Amaterasu pickup here.
Into the chalk. Amaterasu is a late game god. If she can get there, though, she is a huge driving force in team fights and just on a team in general. Her speed buff, the heal she provides for herself and others, I believe, with the switching of the stances and just the amount of damage she can do by just coming down on one person is phenomenal. The real problem now is that she has to get to the late game. The sustain on the side of what I believe to be is War Machine. No, not War. On the side of Puns and
War
Sun.
Machine has the chalk.
Yeah, just taking a huge increase here with the Chang'e and the chalk here. That's gonna put their team fighting potential early game to late game. Early game and late game just really far up there just because of the amount of heals that they can do regardless of levels. Really, like chalk early game heal is still a lot, along with the Chang'e. Their team fighting potential is still stronger, a little stronger in my opinion than Jesus Christ, than Puns and Suns. Jesus.
It's gonna be. They got a very balanced team over there on the sides of Puns and Suns this game. I'll be curious to see what happens. They have the Poseidon and the Sylvanas to kind of help them get through early game, and the Humbots is definitely a great mid game god. If they can push that Amaterasu up, Garcia last game farmed really well, even on the Sun Wukong. I think this game, as long as he's able to secure his buff, he's going to level pretty well and get to that late game. Against the Chalk, it sucks to fight against the Chalk. Any solo laner will tell you, it's just the most annoying fight in the world. Because he can either choose to bully you and push you under tower the whole time while healing, or he can sit back under his tower and not even worry about what you're doing. So we'll see the type of playstyle that comes out here. With the Awelish, I'm guessing they're going to try to still be as aggressive as they were in stealing buffs as they were last game. I don't think it'll be as easy to secure against that Humbots as it was against the Kamazots. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, Chalk just being a real bully in lane and early game and mid game. Only people that can really box him are Ravana and Bologna, in my opinions. Amaterasu, being the late game god that she is, will have a difficult time, but we'll see probably similar builds out of them, although a little bit different. It's diverging towards the middle of their build there. We should see shield regrowth out of both of them just for that speed and healing buff that they will get.
The speed and healing buff will be great. Unfortunately, you're sitting there looking at an Uller who isn't really in the meta right now just because of his skills, and both sides are very balanced right now in, as far as having early game gods and late game gods. On the side of War Machine, you're seeing Cannibal right there on the chalk. He's definitely going to be early game. Booby on the Awelish, very early game. But then late game, you still have that balance with Just Fly on Medusa and with Chaster on the Chang'e right here. They're going to be very late game and very power fed. It'll be curious to see if that Amma's even able to do anything with those two poking her out. Late game or not, that's a lot of damage coming out and a lot that she would have to deal with.
Definitely can agree with that.
Besides late game,
Okay, yeah.
I'm curious to see what happens with this Poseidon late game. I want to see how good this Chang'e can play into him. Chaster last game played very well in the Hades, didn't really get caught out. I commented on it, even went 7-0 with massive damage out. I'll be interested to see what happens against Firstborn. Firstborn last game, not really able to show off his skills or abilities. He was getting dove a lot, getting picked on a lot. On the Poseidon, he can choose to play aggressive into it, and we'll see what happens with it. But I don't know if going Poseidon into this team comp was the best, but if Chang'e uses her escape at the wrong time, he's going to blow her up with that ultimate. There's no doubt about it.
I'm interested to see the Sylvanas into the it's the Sylvanas ult into the Poseidon ultimate. That's the combo I'm looking to see, along with the Humbats there. It's going to be devastating if it's timed properly.
We're going to get to see this awesome new Poseidon skin too, though. I love just watching the skin and its abilities go off. From the camera angle that we'll be able to give you, hopefully we'll get to see an awesome Kraken coming out.
Definitely. Several questions were asked about the new skins, and unless we see a direct problem or get complaints about the skins, we will just follow what's on the SPL page, and you can just keep referencing that, making sure. But the Poseidon abilities are all very clear what they are. I don't think anyone will have a problem distinguishing them from their base skin stats or whatever. The only reason Mastery skins are banned is because the SPL said so, and some people have problems seeing the abilities because of the just drastic change in color and so on and so forth. So that's just to clarify that there real quick.
Remind me again, Zach. What's the punishment for using the incorrect skin that's banned?
The player that uses the skin will his team will receive a strike and then a suspension for 1 game.
Understood. 1 game meaning 1 match of the game, or 1 full, like, the next game he can't play anybody?
The whole match. No, nothing like that. As long as they don't actually go into action, as long as they don't go into action with it and they restart the game, there shouldn't be a problem. Like you've seen me do, we will contact you. But if you, that's the reason that it would be suspension, because we will try to contact you. We will try to make you guys restart the game, so no one will have to face that penalty. But if you ignore those, we will punish you, because as we've seen many a time, people just keep trying to push the boundaries of the rules and so on and so forth. And there's only so much we can do to keep this community really fun and alive with rules in it. And we just have to enforce the rules. Otherwise, it will just become anarchy. And although I know some people would prefer anarchy, that just doesn't do for a competitive league.
Not a problem at all. I completely understand. Any unfair advantage, should be immediately dealt with. All right, here. Let's see what we're building into. Chang'e going with the early Boombo's mass pickup. Probably looking to secure those jungle camps as much as they were last time.
And also, when I talk about unfair advantages, we want to make sure that all players are aware now that they should not be streaming their league game while they're playing. I know that it's a popular option on Twitch to live stream, so like a 3-second delay, but we do not want other teams watching your games and so on and so forth during the actual league match and getting advantages or hearing your talk, etc. A lot of teams have like time attacks or something. They could say at this such and time and so on and so forth. So we want to avoid anyone giving anyone the temptation to cheat or anything like that, or any accusation of cheating. So we do not want you streaming during the thing. If you're going to stream it, then your team will probably, and someone sees it on the enemy team, we cannot be held accountable for that because we can't really prove it. And we've warned you and told you that we prefer that you didn't do this in the rules.
Absolutely. I mean, there's common sense at that point. It comes down to whether or not you're willing to. If you trust the team you're playing against, if you know them, maybe it's okay. But just, it's your choice. Your loss if they end up deciding to utilize it. I know personally that we don't stream at all during picks and bans because we're talking about what we don't want to face, what we're worried about, and what our next ban would be. So we'd hate to have somebody just end up picking up one.
Definitely. Especially with such a mobile comp like yours. Definitely. But other teams, as we go into this league, I guarantee you we'll start getting these kind of mobile picks, a lot of these bans and so on and so forth, and be starting to look to use unusual gods from their things. But if you're streaming and people are hearing what you guys are trying to pick and so on and so forth, they just use their bank time, listening in, wait so that way they're caught up, and then they pick these guys you're talking about, you're going to be salty. You're going to be like, why do they know, and so on and so forth, or it's going to throw up your comp and so on. But you can't really do it. We can't do anything about it. This is why we are asking you not to stream during the games. And if you do so, we cannot take any action against any accusation of cheaters because we just don't have the technology. Because this is I'm just running it out of my time. Michael's helping with his time. A lot of people are just volunteering their time, so on and so forth. And until we either start a Patreon or something like that, just so we can start either. Oh, and there's the first blood by Zeldub onto the Amaterasu. Great play by her. Did not expect to see that.
Booby doing a great job there. Already tower diving, believe it or not. Unfortunately, the Ama was just not really even out of position. She just was pushed up to clear the lane. Shot came in behind her after stealing a blue. Booby really keeping that aggression on, immediately stealing their speed early on. And Chester on that on the Chang'e, just able to help push that lane really fast. Doesn't look like the Poseidon on Firstborn is going to be able to actually keep up with him very well again. We'll see what happens in the later game though, as soon as he starts to get his wave clear up. They were able to secure him as red, so he's rocking that right now, and we'll see if he can actually stay in lane against this Chang'e.
Looking over in duo lane, just Athena and Medusa pushed under tower. And there's the pull by Sylvanas.
Cahill doing a great job on Cahill with a great job in the aggression. It appears that they're winning this lane this time. That's a good sign for their team.
And like I said, the Sylvanas will be huge in the late game or mid to late game when levels start being decided. And if they're not ahead, he'll allow them to fight beyond their potential just a little bit, though. So they have to be aware of how far behind they get.
Some crazy rotations coming out here. Wheeler's about to look for this pick on this Poseidon in the mid lane. There's the jump. And there's the knockup. Big ultimate. Chang'e ult. And they're downfalls Firstborn. Unfortunately, his Hoonbots was really deep, actually stealing back Harpies there instead of being in the lane to help him. I would bet that they don't have wards up yet to cover that placement because Wheeler sat there for a while waiting for Poseidon to put up.
Puns
as soon
and
as Poseidon
stuns.
pushed up, no wards down whatsoever.
Puns and stuns are probably learning from their opponents last game, looking for those deep Harpies, looking for that farm whenever they can, trying to get the. And here we go, see War Machine going for these Harpies.
Unfortunately, though, if you don't have that aggression, if you're not winning your lane, you can't really push those back Harpies, so you leave someone stuck out like that. Wheeler's able to just sit there and wait on the Poseidon to step forward. That's just very unfortunate.
Wheeler's definitely dominating this league. She might be the cover girl for this league so far. We've seen her in a lot of the games. She's really powerful, but not worth a ban a lot of times as long as you know how to counter her, deal with her, get the beads, and so on and so forth. But this time, her sticking through.
Being a bully.
Oh yeah.
Cannibal up here being a bully and already on their speed, trying to steal it away by himself with Wheelish on their way.
Wheelish
That's
definitely.
Gonna be another speed for Booby here, getting really far ahead.
Booby missing the speed buff the first time. Just great job by him though.
Those things are hard to hit. Let's not make fun here.
I know what you mean. Sometimes you go take the buff, you turn to get the buff, and someone's accidentally picked it up, or you just missed it by a hair. In a hurry
trying to help secure these buffs for his mid laner on Firstborn.
And just
unfortunately,
missing the
Sylvanas
kill.
The first to fall in the duo lane over there.
Yeah. Sylvanas probably a little too pushed up, or
big
trying to be
ultimate. Big ultimate from Chester is going to find Firstborn in the mid lane. Poseidon falls again.
Poseidon getting under leveled here to the Chang'e 1 level, but 1 level makes the difference. His ultimate won't be as effective now, just the power scaling and so on and so forth. I can't really say his ultimate won't be effective, but if it keeps up this way, it won't be pretty.
Definitely not. It's kind of, they're again bullying this mid lane. Trap Mom completely unable to help out his mid laner right now. He needs to be able to utilize that ultimate early. He needs to keep the aggression off of his mid laner.
Well, he or she.
Completely.
We have no idea.
That's true. Wheeler's completely dominant against mid laners early game. Without that whirlpool under Poseidon, he's just going to get dove.
And Medusa chasing down the Sylvanas. Nope, backing off as the Ola chases. And Ola gets the kill.
Able to jump the ult. Hoonbot's able to jump the ult. Big ultimate from Ama. Big ultimate from Trap Mom. Nice fight. Nice kill on the Cannibal over there.
Both Wheelish ult come back into this right here.
Definitely. That was a Wheelish ultimate and the Chalk ultimate, and Hoonbots jumped them both with the beads. Absolutely incredible play by Trap Mom there. Ama ulted the second that she saw the Chalk ulting, and they stunned him under tower. Great play. That's how you kill somebody from behind right there. You bait him in and follow it up with your ultimates.
Some rotation looking up at the red buff here at Oler and Sylvanas go take their back Harpies. Great job by Puns and Stun to realize the use of their back Harpies and War Machine as well. Looking for those Harpies, always trying to find the farm, the extra farm that they can do to keep their levels up, keep the things in lane, and just get the rotations off. So way the other teams on their back foot, always looking for them, trying to keep aware. Just not enough wards placed, in my opinion, to keep up with this kind of stuff. And there's the ult from Chang'e. Chang'e missing the ult on the Poseidon.
The ult missed.
And the Poseidon getting on tower.
Is so far down. He's got 0 items up right now. 0 full items up right now. He's completely unable to stay in lane against this Chang'e. He's got to get out of the lane now. She's just going to keep
And there's the Wheelix chasing him, and the Wheelix with the backflip. And the Athena
no problem at all. The Athena ult just to give her the extra protections to get out probably, but unfortunately Firstborn there has to be a little bit more conscious of the fact that you're under-leveled, you have no items. Meanwhile, you're facing 2 people who are very good at early game aggression and very good at just countering anything you're trying to do. Sylvanas caught out of position a little bit here.
Wheelix is definitely the monster right now of this game. Definitely the monster. And the Warm just Warm pinging out where they need to put down that counter ward. How many counter wards do you think we'll see this game on the side of both teams?
I would guess War Machines does what they did last time. They ward early, and then as soon as they start winning the aggression, they stop warding and start getting more items. It worked out well for them last time just because they were so aggressive. No wards would have actually helped them. Looks like you have a Wheelish over here and Chalk tower diving on this Ama. They're going to find the kill. Garcia falls, but a Wheelish Booby over there taking a lot of damage. Same thing with Cannibal, but they're still going to be able to steal away the blue.
Yep.
Chang'e going to help sustain them back up.
Like we said, the early game to mid game and late game, and there's the Chang'e onto the Humbats, and the Humbats is half health. Chalk chasing him down.
That's his first speed of the game that he almost got. Unfortunate.
Poseidon getting pulled into the Athena.
Still without a speed buff this game.
Oh yeah.
That's rough to deal with. As a jungler, if you have your speed buff stole, I know personally that it triggers almost every jungler that I know.
Oh, you have no idea. Oh god, so many junglers will say, "Hey, is my speed still there?" Yeah, it's still there. Can you not touch my speed? What do you mean not touch your speed? I want my speed.
Don't even clear it. Don't touch those. Those minions are mine. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, they have their name written on it. There's no doubt about that in my mind. There, that the speed buff is the jungler's favorite buff.
Chester here getting really confident. Even taunting there with his Athena. They're able to play around and still have some fun with the game.
Oh yeah.
He's 2 levels up right now on this Poseidon. Firstborn going to end up under tower for most of it again. Unfortunately, I don't even think at this point they could engage on Chester. Chester's way too strong on this Chang'e. Looks completely comfortable, not worried about anything. I guess low mana, that would be his biggest complaint, but he's still got Bumba's mask, so he's going to be able to stay out here for forever.
Taking a quick look at the Athena's build.
Coming on duo lane.
Do you agree with the Athena's build to go with reinforced Greaves?
Humbats is looking to gank here, possibly going to pick up at least 1 kill. Able to save his Ullr, but no ultimate from Humbats there, just to disengage. Sylvanas rotating over. Possibly could get caught out, or possibly could find a pull here.
Sylvanas
just warding the jungle, it looks like.
Sylvanas definitely having a hard time keeping up with the Athena rotations, the Athena all over the place. Even without Traveler's Boots, she has been all over this map using her ult and engaging.
Yeah, she's doing a great job of actually staying in the fights and staying relevant. Unfortunately, as I say that, looks like they're about to engage without her right here. Wheelish looking to engage, looking to find a good pickup here. Oh, great job by the Sylvanas there. Very conscious, even though he was probably at max range of her knockup, still turning around to be sure he doesn't get hit.
Definitely, you got to be aware, and they'll take this opportunity.
Probably get a Gold Fury here. They got a 4-man grouping. Nope, disengaging.
Just taking the oracles. Wheelix a little far pushed up.
Position. There's her beads and able to jump away.
Don't you love it when the tiger starts standing up and dancing? Jesus.
Yeah.
It just confuses me.
Wheeler's still looking for that knockup. If she finds one here, it's going to be trouble. She's doing a great job of leveling here.
Wheeler's going back, choosing the back now. Probably looking for an item. Just after the brief respite from the action, what do you think of the builds thus far? Looking at lanes and looking at the pressure presented by them.
Looking at builds, it looks like Poseidon's still really struggling. Firstborn unable to get any real items online. Unfortunately, he went with the early Bancroft's last match, and it didn't pay off for him. So it looks like he tried full boots this match. Still going 0-3 right now. He's not able to find where his power spike is going to be impactful against a team this aggressive.
Definitely
Chop
seemed
with an
like he.
ultimate just to help disengage the fight up here.
Definitely
Maybe
agree
we've
with
gotten
the.
a little too cocky.
I'm definitely agreeing with the Bancroft's talent just because he needs that early lifesteal. The power spike is going to be there.
I think it would have been a better pickup. I think lifesteal would have been a better pickup on to the Poseidon. On the Nox, to me, it doesn't really. I don't really find it useful.
Definitely. But Poseidon.
Alma using her ultimate just to get away, still getting chased and falling down to Booby over there.
They tower dived her pretty deep there.
Yeah, they're sitting under a tier 2 right now, but no fear or no real danger of dying here. Cannibal getting some decent levels online. There's finally the Kraken ultimate. Unfortunately, not really doing a whole lot of damage right now. Athena getting completely poked out by it at least. Hopefully here they can engage on the shot. Nope. Looks like Cannibal may still make it out. Big Chang'e ult. Medusa there for the follow-up. There's the Humbot's ultimate. And Chang'e just gonna dance right out of it. That's what I was afraid of with the Chang'e. You can't really lock her down. If you have no one to burn her beads, then she's not really worried about you. Or
Oh
not
yeah.
her beads, I'm sorry.
Even
If you have
after the
someone-
12, even after they updated the cooldown timer, it's different. She's still so powerful. There's not much you can really do
she's
about
still
it.
ridiculous. You have to have the Kraken on her in order to make her baited out, and then the second her dances down, you have to throw that Humbot's ult. Otherwise, you're just wasting it. Even on top of that, she's still gonna beads out, so you have to find a way to apply decent poke to her.
Oh yeah. The most annoying thing is Chang'e with beads and a sanctuary. Just too much. Just don't do that to us, please.
See, that's why my personal favorite pick here is the, especially into a Chang'e, is always the Thoth. Because I will constantly apply poke and she'll never get close enough to actually do damage to me.
Oh yeah, friend. We've seen what your Thoth does. And that's it for Sylvanas.
Unfortunately, Sylvanas getting caught out there.
I feel bad for Bob
Athena
Ross.
probably gonna taunt. Oh, Athena holding her taunt just a second too long there. Fortunately, Trap Mom able to get out of that fight. I want to see Trap Mom apply some more skills that he has. He made a great ultimate earlier, great plays earlier. He needs to be involved in these team fights. He needs to be around that mid laner, and they need to combo their stuff. I'm afraid he's just rotating too much, trying to get farm, trying to get back in the game instead of just worrying about helping out his mid lane. Because without a mid laner, you're not going to be able to do anything right now. And Poseidon sitting at level 10 is not doing you any good.
Definitely. Just
Trap
if
Mom
you
getting caught out there. Chang'e ultimate down though for it.
if you had to give advice to puns and stuns, what would it be?
For puns and stuns, I would say you're letting the wrong picks go through for your god pools here. You let two prime picks, two huge meta picks in Hades and Susanoo in the first game. In this game, you're letting through a Chang'e. Chang'e is still one of the top 3 bans in the in SPL for a reason. She is so difficult to deal with late game, and you're basically you got her fed because a Wheelix came through with her. It's not a bad thing. You just have to be able to deal with it. You have to practice against a good one in order to know how to counter her.
And like we've already seen, like a learning curve for puns and stuff as they're starting to clear back back harpies and so on. Definitely a lot of the lower experienced teams picking up on what the more experienced teams are doing, and just learning that the learning curve in the league has been huge, as we saw with Shikugaru and friends coming from game 1 to game 2, winning, and game 3 pulling out and just being a monster, really.
Yeah, Trap Mom just completely unable to farm now. Got so underleveled trying to actually farm camps while fights were happening. Other people were picking up kills. Kills will always get you more XP than the camps. So unfortunately, sitting at 1 and 2 at level 8, Trap Mom is virtually unaffected right now. The ultimate may help you, but that's about it.
With Will sitting at 7-0, his counterpart is overleveling him by 5, and the gold difference is 5,000.
Yeah, and they're not even letting him sit still. He can't even get near a fight. There we go. There, finally we see a combo ultimate.
Into the
And look,
Sylvanas
they
ult.
actually do some damage. There it is. Come on now.
And there's the Humbat's ult. And can Wheelix die?
At least they
Oh,
pick
Wheelix
up one.
goes down. They picked up
At least
2 there.
they pick up 1 there.
They picked up 2
That's
actually.
what they needed. They needed these fights.
Oh, and there's the Amaterasu ult. Amaterasu. Oh, and there's the Medusa ult, and it's
Chuck
2 for
got
3.
actually soloed out. We missed it because this team fight started happening. Chuck got soloed out, and that's why the Alma was free to run in here.
Yeah, if I believe so, yeah.
So,
Good
Alma,
job
like
by
we
Puns
said
and
earlier-
Suns, comboing their ults together, making their, like I said, late game is going to be their game.
Like we said earlier, though, Garcia appearing to be the most skilled player probably on their team, doing a great job of getting into that team fight and making an impact, even if he got there a little late, soloing out his. Well, he didn't get credit for the kill, so I'm not really sure how the Chalk died, but the Chalk did die.
Chalk got
wasn't available
ulted.
for that team
I
fight.
believe the Chalk got ulted by the Poseidon.
Nice, nice, okay.
Don't you love it when people run backwards? Just don't you love spectating mode? When, like, especially when
Oh, yeah.
Assassin's Creed Older is shooting things backwards, you're like, it's just like Assassin's Creed.
Chats are doing so much poke damage, even while just walking by somebody. It's absolutely insane right now. Trap Mom going down to about half health just from walking by Chang'e.
Yeah, Chang'e is. I don't understand why she does so much damage and has such an OP escape. Like, what were they thinking when they made this god?
There's the big ultimate. There's the big ultimate from Chaster. Oh, okay. Booby waited a long time there to follow
up. And there's the
Amaterasu,
and there's the kill by Chester. And there's the knockup.
Her
trying to get
down. Chang'e may actually fall here. No. Unfortunately, they're having to peel off. A lot of damage dealt there, though. That was a pretty solid team fight for being so far behind. Unfortunately, of course, you're level 9 is the first player that's going to die. He's just so far down.
If they had a little bit more damage, if they were just even a little bit closer, it could have gone a lot differently.
If they were even in level, if they had been fighting, if he had been even in the team fights to get the assists earlier, they would be fine. Big
and there's the Medusa into the Choco.
There. Yep.
Chop
Cannibal
chasing the
chasing
tower.
this kill, going under Phoenix. Deciding to pull off. Wisely so.
Chalk is just a monster.
looking for a really deep pull. Yeah, Sylvanas able to help stay in these team fights just a little bit longer, as you were saying earlier.
Yeah, his heal and sustain is beautiful, and that's what's important, really.
He's also got Gauntlet of Thebes on, which is a great item as far as defense goes.
In my opinion,
it looks like to engage.
In my opinion, that if you're behind, that should be your first built item, just for the general protections it gives you and your teammates. And it's cheap, affordable, gives you HP, and it lets you be in those fights a little earlier than even if you're behind.
Yeah, it's just a great item overall for most supports.
How do you feel about the nerf that they did? -5 to both protections.
I feel it was relevant. It was by far and above the best item for any support, and any item that's particularly that strong. If it's an item that basically you're dumb if you don't have, that's about the time the item's gonna get nerfed. I'm waiting any day now for that shifter shield nerf to come through.
Oh yeah, 80, was it 70 power at the moment? Yeah, that's just crazy.
Right.
I believe
this might be a good team fight for them to finally take. Big Chang'e ult down. Oh, unfortunately they got bursted before they even could respond. No response, no ultimates down.
And the Chalk. The Chalk
They've
is just a juggernaut this game. Going into towers, taking him, popping his ults, chasing down enemies with that buff. What can you really do against an opponent that is
That was a 4 to 5. That was a 4 to 5 team fight. Medusa's not even in this team fight yet, and they got absolutely dominated.
Definitely. Like I said,
as I said earlier, Ulir completely unable to do any damage with his abilities in team fights like that, especially when you get behind in levels. That's why he's not a prime meta god right now. He's completely a basic attack god. He can offer almost nothing in forms of team fights when behind.
The lag
At
is
least
real
if you
here.
see like a Medusa. Yeah.
And this is going to be Fire Giant here.
It's going to be free too. No one's even going to be able to contest. If you see like a Medusa behind or anything along those lines, at least she's able to throw in an ultimate that stuns everybody in a team fight. You see a Hou Yi, he's got a big global ultimate that can at least somewhat peel for his team. When you're looking at Uller, no ultimate available, no real CC other than that axe stun that's really hard to throw on one target, and no follow-up damage from it. You can't do anything to it to really combo if you're behind in levels.
He's a really good. He plays a lot like an assassin a lot of times, but with his kit diversity, his high single target damage, I feel like he is played a lot more relevantly in jungle. From what I've seen, a lot of the junglers, the jungler I know that is very good is actually very good with Uller in jungle, making him just a terrifying force. Not relying on crit, in fact, just relying on pin and power to get him through, along with a little bit of attack speed.
Yeah, if Cahill was able to actually keep up in these team fights, I think he could be effective on him. It's just, right now, he's completely getting blown up in the fight. Wasn't relevant for his team fight, even though his entire team comp got dove. Couldn't stop even one person from aggressing with the poke damage that he has right now.
Amma pops ult, only to be countered by Chalk. Chalk throws the axe, and Amma gets out barely.
They're getting zoned over there right here. Trap Mom's still so far under level. Chang'e is just going to pick him off. Doesn't even care about the tower. Doesn't even care about his ultimate being up. Walks right under tower and kills him. Chang'e with that big ultimate, it's just not even fair at this point. If she's out leveled, you're in trouble. And not to mention, Chester's just playing on very well right now. Interesting is Sank option done by Chalk right there. Big ultimate out of Poseidon, and almost no damage done. Looks like it probably got shelled out. Even the jungler Booby not even taking damage to that. They might push for Titan here. There's another kill.
And that's
just
first
Fly
Phoenix.
finding the kill here.
First Phoenix at 20
Just
minutes.
Fly finding the kill with his ultimate, just to add insult to injury. Big Humbot's ult coming up for sure. There it is. Chang'e still half healthing him before while in the ult. Absolutely ridiculous.
Chang'e, just such a strong pick. Like, what can you do to counter her besides, really, you have to pour a lot into her just to get out the abilities you need to before you can feasibly kill her.
Personally, my best, the option I find best is don't get near her. She's limited in range. Her ultimate's the longest range she has, but she's very limited other than that. The rest of her abilities are basically the size of Mystical Mail. So if Mystical Mail can't hit you, she can't hit you. My personal favorite mages are all the ones that have the damage to deal that without getting near her.
I can totally agree with that.
Here. Yeah, unfortunately, it just all depends on your style of play. Because she got ahead, she's able to play as aggressive as she wants. Chalk ulting under Phoenix. Oh, and a Wheelix popping ult. They were trying to get a pick there. Wheelix just a little bit slow on the ultimate, and Sylvanas walking out. Big ult by Sylvanas to keep them under tower, but I'm afraid they're not doing enough damage here. Chalk just going to walk out of Phoenix, still healing up. And Fire
Chalk really the unstoppable force this game, and really not finding the immovable object in this game to stop him.
Yeah, unfortunately, even though Cannibal wasn't really doing well in his lane against the Alma, he's able to make a big impact in these team fights just with that ultimate.
Just because of the sustain he has, he's able to tower dive with the Chang'e healing him up along with his own heal and his own ultimate into silence, followed up by the Wheelix.
They still have that Fire Giant. That Fire Giant is still taking away health for them.
And that's definitely Titan there.
Able to completely siege Titan there. Yeah.
And
unfortunately, that's game. It's 29-4, but. Not super surprising there with the team comp builds.
And not much to really talk about between them. Really just puns and stuns. A little inexperience here. Need to learn how to farm a bit better and know when to engage in the team fights, when to follow up, and when to disengage. They were very hesitant to engage when they should have. A few times they should have engaged in those fights.
To me, I would say the most important thing is know who the enemy is going to pick. For example, you left Susanoo open, you have to know they're going to pick it. You left a Wheelix open this game, you got to expect that they're probably going to pick it. Play the god that's going to counter them. Poseidon would have been a great pickup. Unfortunately, you let him get underleveled. Booby went completely off at 16-1, absolutely insane. And then Chaster goes flawless. You let your mid laner get picked on while their mid laner didn't get picked on. Essentially, that happened in both games, unfortunately. Not because of any, misstep necessarily on your part. There wasn't a particular play that cost you anything huge. It was just a matter of farming. Just a matter of you didn't let Firstborn get farmed. He's unable to get farmed. Now, this is coming from a mid laner, so obviously I think the game centers around a mid laner. But Firstborn unable to get farm, while Chaster was able to get farm and able to pick us up on kills. He was able to go flawless. That alone should tell you their mid laner and their jungler are the biggest issues, and you're gonna have to counter pick them. You're gonna have to focus them. If you're scared of a particular god, you've got to pick it up and you've got to be good with it yourself.
Definitely. Alright, that's been this game. Right after this, we actually have Megalo versus Warm in a scrim, and we will cover that until 1 a.m. EST, when we will have the last game of the week 1, which will be, I believe it will be, who will it be? Looking at the roster, it will be...
Surprisingly enough,
someone.
Cooler had blood damage.
Godslayer versus Banana Boys will be the last game of the night at 1 a.m., 10 p.m. EST time. Remember to tune in for that, or come check it out tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys again soon.